Hello everyone, did you know that Chinese nationals are now the top migrant group entering the country illegally?
And in California now beginning to bear the brunt of the migrant crisis. Stunning new video shows scores of migrants all along the U.S.-Mexico border near San Diego after smugglers reportedly cut into the wall and led them into the country illegally. Many of them suspected Chinese nationals, and the border San Diego sector reporting seeing more than double the amount of encounters with Chinese citizens in the first half of this fiscal year than it did in all of 2023.
Things are actually quiet here on the Texas border compared to San Diego, where you have Chinese nationals crossing illegally into California in record numbers. News Nation sources telling us that smugglers have actually shifted their operations west as Texas continues to beef up their border security in areas like El Paso and here in Eagle Pass. Now take a look at this new viral video from San Diego resident Cody Gutro showing hundreds of migrants crossing illegally into the San Diego sector after men in black masks cut through the border wall and led the migrants right through.
That is what some reports are suggesting, and to tell you the truth, it is a bit shocking to me. Before we go over the reports, I was able to find one Chinese migrant complaining. I will admit, it was a bit of a challenge to do so, but they do exist. However, what I found odd is what he said. So this particular Chinese migrant was explaining how it is difficult to find a job here in America due to the army of immigrants that are here today. And I found those choice of words very odd. I'm paraphrasing here, but in a few minutes, we will go over the actual video. Now look, I am all for people escaping oppression. We know the Chinese government has oppressed some of its people. We witnessed some of that during COVID. Although what I find interesting is that these Chinese nationals are coming with a lot of money. We have seen that most of these migrants from South America are spending around $10,000, give or take, to be able to cross into the United States illegally with the help of the coyotes. But the Chinese nationals are spending tens of thousands of dollars. With that amount of money, you can easily move into another country in Europe or perhaps an Asian country. But instead, they are willing to come all the way to America. Which again, hey, if that's what you want to do and you have good intentions and you're truly escaping oppression, to each their own, it can be understandable to a certain degree. But from what I know, and if there are any Chinese Americans watching, please correct me if I'm wrong, but China makes it a bit challenging for their nationals to, let's say, sell their real estate and sell their businesses and empty out their bank accounts in order to leave the country. From what I know, that it's really difficult to do over there. And so to me, when I see this huge number of Chinese nationals coming here with so much money, it puts me to think, like, wait a minute. So either all of you guys got lucky, or there's a good number of you working with the Chinese government to come here and do something. And that's a question that is fair to ask, okay? We know that the Biden administration will not be asking those tough questions, so it is up to us to ask everything around here. Furthermore, we know that the Chinese nationals are not overwhelming the shelter system in America. We've seen the Venezuelans, Colombians, Ecuadorians, Salvadorians, Mexicans, and you name it. But for the most part, it is rare to find a Chinese national abusing the shelter system in the country. So again, I ask, where did you go? Who took you in? Who are you renting from? Are you buying property? Who are you buying from? How did you get so much money into the country? You know, once again, fair questions. Obviously, we are all very happy when we know that another immigrant is not abusing the system. But when they come from a communist country and they come with a lot of money, I think it is only normal to properly vet this person just to make sure they are not trying to do something to this country at some point in the future. Let's be real here. China is our adversary. We spy on them, they spy on us, and round we go. Hence, to me, it is basic common sense. If I was a leader of the Chinese government and I wanted to harm the US, I would say, well, hold on a minute. I don't want to spend billions or trillions of dollars sending planes, tanks, you name it. Why don't we just take advantage of their vulnerabilities and go through the southern border, invade them, keep our people off the radar. In the meantime, we get ourselves together and, help our people, obviously. They're part of our government. Give them their needs, their basic needs. Perhaps maybe some of them keep them well accommodated, depending on their ranks, and we take it from there. I would do that. Any person with some intelligence would do that. Once again, I am not saying all of them are the same. Absolutely not. But we need to ask all of these questions, guys. This is our country. We live here. We cannot be so naive all the time. Now, let me read you this report from homeland.house.gov. And this is from April 18, 2024, which is fairly recent as of this recording. Startling stats fact sheet. Encounters of Chinese nationals surpass all fiscal year 2023 at the southwest border. Today, the House Committee on Homeland Security released its startling stats fact sheet detailing the U.S. CBP border encounter numbers for March of fiscal year 2024. Last month marked the halfway point for the fiscal year and the third worst March in decades at the southwest border, 189,372. So far in fiscal year 2024, 24,376 Chinese nationals have been encountered at the southwest border, 24,214 of them apprehended illegally crossing the border. Encounters of Chinese nationals in March 2024 increased over 8,000% compared to March 2021. 8,000%. That's ludicrous. And have surpassed all of last fiscal year, just 6 months into fiscal year 2024. Wow. March also marked a historic high for encounters along the busiest sector of the northern border, the Swanton sector, which saw nearly 50% increase compared to the previous March, and more than a 2,000% increase compared to March of fiscal year 2021. More than 1,000 Chinese nationals have crossed the northern border every month for the past 5 months. The potential national security implications of this unprecedented influx are concerning, as a Chinese national in the U.S. illegally breached a military base in California and refused to leave on March 29. Unfortunately, reports from last year revealed DHS Secretary Alejandro Krabiorkas had instructed Border Patrol agents to drastically reduce the number of vetting questions for Chinese nationals in order to more quickly process these aliens into the interior, potentially putting our homeland security at risk. According to Rio Grande Valley Sector Chief Patrol Agent Gloria Chavez, in her transcribed interview with the committee in September 2023, in order to interview and process Chinese nationals, her sector, and I quote, had to go through a translation service. That translation service took about 6 to 7 hours to interview a Chinese national. So that was very tasking on our end. And boom, just like that, Alejandro Krabiorkas strikes again. Incredibly logistical. people that are coming here illegally, jumping over the border, not coming through the right port of entry. Oh, don't give them too many hard questions. We need to keep them going, guys. Please lower the standards. Take it easy on them. Lighten up a little bit. But those that are going through the application process the right way and are paying their fees and waiting years, we need and we must ask them a million questions and increase those immigration fees, by the way. Only in Joe Biden's America. But hold on 1 second. I want to go over one brief thing before we jump onto the reports.
2 men living in New York City have been charged with conspiring to act as agents of the Chinese government.
And prosecutors say they helped set up and operate a secret Chinese government police station right here in the city.
This nondescript office building in the heart of bustling Chinatown in Lower Manhattan has a dark secret.
An ominous description from U.S. Attorney Breon Peace, who says that until several months ago, an entire floor hosted an undeclared outpost station of the Chinese National Police.
Now just imagine the NYPD opening an undeclared secret police station in Beijing. It would be unthinkable.
Lu Jianwang and Chen Jinping, seen in this photo from the criminal complaint, are accused of helping set up the station. But U.S. officials say it was not the type of police force the average American might think of. Instead of combating crimes, they say, they were committing them. Specifically, acts of transnational repression, where a foreign government, in this case China, stalks or intimidates individuals in the United States.
The Chinese National Police appear to have been using the station to track a U.S. resident on U.S. soil.
When the defendants learned that they were under investigation, prosecutors say they deleted communication with the Chinese government official who was giving them instructions.
This is clearly a blatant violation of our national sovereignty.
It shows the PRC's efforts to globalize the oppressive tactics used domestically in China to silence dissent.
And today's charges send a crystal clear response to the PRC that we are on to you. We know what you're doing, and we will stop it from happening in the United States of America.
You think we would learn our lesson, but no, come on, guys. You're asking for too much. You should know better by now. Anyway, Chinese migrants on the rise. Should we be concerned? Or is that an improper thing to ask? Well, I don't care. Let's get started. Let's jump right into it, guys. So this report is from 6 months ago. Let's translate. The journalist says the migrants from Central America are no longer the only victims of human trafficking. New numbers from the US are suggesting that Chinese nationals are now the main clients of the Mexican cartel, transporting these Chinese nationals all the way to the American border brings the cartel around $1.5 billion. And on average, the Chinese officials are reportedly paying around $50,000 to the coyotes so that they can help them cross over many countries to eventually get into America. Then she continues, another report is suggesting that that figure could actually be higher than that. Tell me if that is not shocking. Those numbers are tremendous. This is a $1 billion business. Why wouldn't they want to come over? And the cartel is having a good time right now, I'm sure. But let me know what you think thus far in the comment section below. And don't forget to please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We need the algorithm to help us reach more Americans to watch these videos. Let's jump into the next clip. Okay, so this report is from 3 months ago, and the journalist starts by saying the Latinos are no longer the only one coming through the border to enter America. New reports are showing us that those coming in are thousands of Chinese nationals that come with a purpose. They tell us they are seeking freedom via a translator. Once they get here, CBP takes custody of them and take them via bus to get processed. Afterwards, the question is, where are they going and who is receiving them to help them? These stairs are taking some of them into a basement in New York. This community leader tells us that some of them have been here for a couple of months, and then they go to other states looking for job opportunities and seeking a shelter or a place to stay within their own community. Right here at the basement, they share the place with Muslims and Christians. In this particular case, with this Chinese migrant, he is seeking dignity. And he says that due to the Chinese government oppressing his religion, that is why he decided to leave. He says coming to America has been like receiving a warm hug. She continues, some of them did achieve their goal of being here, but others are still worried. Like this other Chinese migrant, 28 years old. He's very concerned because he can't find a job. And this is the one that's complaining. He says, there's an army of immigrants that are living here and it's really difficult to find a job. And you can see the frustration in his face. But again, very interesting choice of words. He said there's an army of immigrants here. Take that for what you will. But anyhow, he is not happy about it, okay? You guys, all of you immigrants, there's too many of you in here. This guy needs to find a job, so please cut it out. Anyway, let's continue here. So yes, it is difficult to find a job. And then this other Chinese migrant says he's been here for over a year. And he went from China to Ecuador. And then he took a bike, bus, and eventually took a boat to make it to the US. And you see, I guess he recorded part of that there. And finally, he is now living in LA. That's where he hopes to become legal. He says that the asylum process is overwhelmed at the moment. But even so, he is living his life here in America. He says, I do have a work permit and a driver's license and a social security number. The reporter says in the meantime, he is working as a truck driver. Others are waiting to enter America. Then here she tells us that just over the past year, over 30,000 Chinese nationals have entered the country illegally, which doubles the number of those that came here within the last 10 years. I don't even know what to say right now. How do we even start the process of properly vetting them now that they are here? It's nearly impossible. Let's be realistic. It is nearly impossible. But let's jump into the last report. This one is from 2 months ago, and the reporter says from January 2023 to now, it's been a year since the CBP1 app has been implemented and added into the system, and now it has reached around 64 million applications to seek asylum in America, which equivalents to around 5 million applications per month. This is per reports from the US government that were posted by CBS News. But even with this app, people are still trying to enter the country illegally. Among them, we find a record number of Chinese nationals who are using the TikTok app to achieve their goal. So let's watch how they do it, he says. This resident says, there's a lot of them, a lot of Chinese. The cartel brings them here. The journalist states, we have thousands of migrants risking their lives crossing the river. We also have Chinese nationals coming into the US illegally, and they are using the TikTok app. So this volunteer who helps migrants says that they are using TikTok, and they post the videos and they share it all over China, and they already know the step-by-step process to cross into the US. And right there you can see the videos they are referring to, which have Chinese writing on it, and that is the TikTok application. So the volunteer that helps migrant says, a lot of people think you have to jump over the border to make it here. But no, look, right there. You see the wall. At some point, you will find there is no more wall or barrier, and so people can cross over. And here they are talking about the Hakamba area, which is the one that I reported on months ago. Guys, what country you're from? This is from the VegaAxis channel. What country you're from? China? China? Everybody China?
Yeah.
China. Yes. Does anybody here speak English? No. No English a little bit? No? When did you come to America? No. So as you can see, they don't want to be interviewed, and they're saying that they don't speak English. I think some of them might speak a little bit of English, but it seems like they don't want to talk, guys. But once again, in this little corner, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grown men. And here this resident is saying, yeah, around 3, 4 a.m. they come by. And here is the journalist is showing us how easy it is to go from Mexico into the US. No need to jump over the fence or border wall whatsoever. That is very accurate. I was there. What is that? Tell me how the borders are not open and we see a nice gap right here between Mexico and California. All right, guys, so I'm here in my vehicle now, and Border Patrol just pulled over. Can you show the trucks over there? I mean, some of them were already there when I was interviewing, but actually a couple of more vans came in, and you see a Border Patrol agent over there. I know it's a little bit dark, but he is actually lining them up. Well, a couple of them are doing that. I believe they are going to start the processing. Yep, they are taking some of them already, so you can see a group over there. Maybe you can't see, but again, it is dark, so even if I get out, it's not going to do any good because it's just pretty dark. So I'm trying to light everything up with the lights of my vehicle. All right, so yep, they're just lining up now. Again, guys, look, I'm not kidding you. Let me see if I can just drive a little bit closer. You can see these are mostly grown men. Then the journalist says the coyotes contact the migrants at their country of origin, like Eric, who also pay thousands of dollars to come here from Ecuador. And he's asking him, how much do you pay to come from Ecuador to here? He says $5,000. And then this other migrant paid around $2,500 to go from a city in Mexico to here to America. And he is from Colombia, so I'm sure he paid a lot more. And he's saying how they told him to walk through certain areas and eventually make it here. So he says that in total was around $3,500. Then this other migrant is crying and she's saying they are taking a lot of money from us. Then the journalist proceeds. After the Mexican authorities find the paths they are using, meaning the coyotes, they are able to put certain blockades so that the human trafficking does not continue. But, you know, one spot closes, another one opens. Then here is Catalina once again. And this is the person that helps the migrants, and she's a volunteer, as I mentioned earlier. And she says that because of the National Guard blocking migrants from entering the U.S., that makes the migrants now travel through remote areas which are more dangerous for them. And that is all she wrote, my friends. Please tell me what you think about all of this. The madness continues, and nobody within our government is doing anything about it, including Congress. They are falling asleep at the wheel, but at least we are keeping informed, which is important. Thank you, like always, for watching the video. Additionally, many thanks to those of you that support my platform. Don't forget, the shoutout section is in the description below. Please follow me everywhere, just in case, you never know. And join my Discord if you want to share more information about the migrant crisis and other trending topics. The invite link is down below. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It is essential so that more Americans can watch all of these videos. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will be reading. See you guys on the next video.